Wandia Njoya. I teach at Daystar University. My subject is mainly literature. Although I am supposed to be teaching literature from Africa, from the French-speaking countries. So that's my training. I became a head of department for some time. I was in charge of music and languages. And so when I was trying to promote those subjects, that's how I learned the kind of world it is for artists and the kinds of challenges they face, because I needed to know what I was sending my students into. So that's how I'm involved in the creative sector. I teach students intending to join the sector, but I also teach the art, like when people compose or when they write, I use those materials in my classroom. So that's how I am involved. So I'm also a blogger. My blog, wandianjoya.com, I started it to sort of journal what I was seeing as a teacher, what was happening in the different areas of education. But of course, I also talk about politics. My idea was to bring the kinds of things I talk about in the classroom to also bring them to the public. So in fact, I decided that the internet is also my classroom. So I teach beyond the walls of the university. So that's how I started that blog. Art is it's the medicine and the exercise of the soul. It is in the arts that we remind ourselves who we are as human beings and the world in which we live. We are living in an era where the world is being reduced to either the economy or politics, but there's also nature asking for our attention. There's also our ancestors. There's also God. And if you ignore all those things, you pay a very heavy price as a society, because you forget that people are human, you forget how to manage the earth properly, you forget many other things that need our attention. So the arts are where we are reminded of those things. We are reminded of who we are as human beings, but also the world in which we live and our responsibility to that world. Art is the voice of the silent, and by silent I mean not only those who are artificially made silenced by, for example, if you don't have power, you're not reported in the media, your stories are not told. So there are those who are silenced, but there are also silent members of the universe, like nature, like our history, our ancestors, like the gods, like the ancestors. So that's what I meant, that art speaks the voices of those. So what artists do is that they tell us, what are the ancestors saying to us today? What is Mother Nature telling us? You know, when there's a flood, for example, or drought, what is Mother Nature really saying? So that's what I meant, that it is the artists who bring those voices into the human space, the voices that we normally don't listen to because we are busy with our lives and our other human activities. Art is not simply talent, it's mostly work. What happens is that when you reduce art to talent, you're basically saying that the artist is doing what they do out of being born that way. And that way you forget the amount of resources that artists put into the work that they do. You forget the time it takes for somebody to produce a work of art. So that's why I was saying that we need to forget the idea of just being restricted to talent, because when you talk of talent, then you're basically saying artists are just being themselves. But no, they're doing work, and they're doing work for society. These voices that I'm saying, if we don't listen to them, the planet will be destroyed, there will be injustice. So the artists are helping us, and that is work. And so we must pay artists for that work. It's not just for entertaining and making us feel happy, it's for remembering who we are. that's the work they do, and we need to pay them for it, and we need to facilitate it. Artists speak truth, they express emotion, they improve our intellect, they make us think, they express our feelings for us. So all those dimensions of the human being are done by artists. I think we're living in an economy that is so fixed on money and power and concrete, things that are tangible. What artists do is that they remind us of the intangibles, what it means to love, what it means to fear, what it means to feel pain and joy, what it means to suffer and to triumph. All those things, that's what the artists do for us. And we need to do it for the health of society. So that's why I call them, they are the medicine people. They give us the medicine for the soul.